So that's how intensively I had to focus on French. I had to put my 8-month-old baby in the daycare so that I can focus on study. There's so many sacrifices that happen. Whatever I speak should be natural way and not like like a robotic delivery or something. For that, Frenchify has helped me a lot. I had to take care of the family. Things were like too much pressurizing. It was overwhelming and I was not able to do it. Finally, I was like, okay, this is the final attempt that I'm going to give to French. My husband was with Frenchify, like he started learning French. So every day he used to like play your videos and he used to, practice every day. I had to miss a couple of sessions. You message in the group, if your exams are approaching, please don't miss the session. Please, like try to join. We also do get reminders from the team that oh, it's been a long time that you have not practiced French. Are you practicing or not? And I think that's like a little push we need.
Hello, everybody. Welcome Mahalakshmi to this video. How are you, Mahalakshmi?
Yeah, I'm too good. How are you?
I'm doing well as well. Thank you so much. And congratulations for clearing your TEF Canada exam. CLB 9 in reading, CLB 9 in listening, 7 in writing, CLB 9 in speaking.
Yeah, yeah.
So first of all, congratulations. And how are you feeling now after clearing the exam?
I'm finally feeling like I'm relieved I'm done with the exam because it was too pressurizing for me to complete it. And because of the French scores and the draws that was happening, it was motivating me, it was pushing me. Yeah, you have to give exam, clear it fast. And yeah, that was the only concern. And it was not very easy, but somehow I made it. Like, yeah. It
Good. No,
was a very good experience learning a new language and then, clearing it feels like a biggest milestone in the life.
true. And given the fact that you are in Montreal, so this can also
Mm.
help you actually use it in your career and find better job
Yeah.
opportunities and overall get more experience of the French culture over here. So that's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, first, let's talk about how did you think about this? Because I know you're in Quebec and it's like an obligation for every immigrant, those who are in Quebec, to learn it, right? So
Yeah.
how did that start in you? Like, what was the ignition point? Ki, okay, I have to start learning. And then later, what made you join Frenchify as well? Because you started with Frenchify at B1 level, that
Yes.
in December 2025, right?
Yeah.
So we'll also talk about that journey, how the learning went with B1. But before than that, how were you learning? How was the approach to French?
Okay, so we landed in Canada in 2023, April, and in August, luckily I got my, I got into the CJEP French courses with Quebec. So I was able to do the French course with them. Like I completed the French course, but it was majorly about knowing the culture, knowing the basic, knowing the language basically, and then understanding and how it will help in the daily life here in Montreal. So I completed that. And at the end of that, I was pregnant and, like I had to take a pause. I finished the course. And then here, like I had to settle down things. And since no one was here to take care of us, it's just me, my husband, and my son. And after that, like I gave birth to my daughter here. And then, after that, like we did everything all by ourselves. Meanwhile, I just had to leave French. Like I really didn't have time to practice. I really didn't have time to like get in touch with the language. There was no one to talk basically. So once when you lose the touch, it's really difficult to get back on the track, right? So that was something that was really pressurizing because I was about to give my exam, but it didn't happen. It didn't go the way I wanted. But yeah, I always believe that the destiny has something to give me like in the proper time, like in a proper way than what I expect. So things were happening. Like I slowed down. I thought, okay, there's not the time to think about that. And I just had to take care of my family and the baby. And that was the thing. And after a year, my husband was with Frenchify, like he started learning French. So every day he used to like play your videos and he used to, practice every day. And, like every time I was like, okay, French again now. So even I have to start with it. I don't know what to do. And he's like, no, 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 you have to start with Frenchify. It's really good. And, it's really like he actually teaches French in a very good way so that like everybody can understand. It's not that like because if a foreigner or if a Quebecois, especially, I would say, if they teach, it would be really different. A
Hmm.
person from our own country, he's teaching us, so he knows how it is how easily to explain to us things, right? So that was one thing my husband kept telling me. And finally, I joined B1 with you after a year. Like, yeah, 2025, and I joined B1. And every day I used to practice, but I was not having motivation because it was a self-study which I took. So I had to spend hours. I was very much demotivated because I was like, I started in 2023 and now it's 2025. Where am I? I'm not even close to level 7. What am I doing? But yeah, I had my own priorities that I had to look into it, and I had to take care of the family. Things were like too much pressurizing. It was overwhelming and I was not able to do it. Finally, I was like, okay, this is the final attempt that I'm going to give to French. Not, I'm not going to leave French. I will make sure that I will get, get clear that exam, get my PR, and only then I leave the country. That was my, that was my point. I was like, no. Work permit was about to end, and then luckily it got renewed again. And then we stayed here. My husband is like, okay, after this, I don't have any idea whether they'll renew the permit or not. So this is our last chance. So I was like, okay, now we have to take things seriously. So even I had to let go of many things. Like, I've never been outside to, explore the country. I've never been to Quebec City also, to be honest. Being here in Montreal, I've never been to Quebec City. So that's how intensively I had to focus on French. I had to let go a few things. I had to put my 8-month-old baby in the daycare so that I can focus on study. There's so many sacrifices that happen. But yeah, finally, I think eventually everything happened at the right time and right place. And yeah, I finished B1, and I made sure like I sent my audios and videos with you to, like kind of assess and let me know if I'm okay to go to B2. And
Mm.
then, yeah, B2 was like super cool. It was very intensive. And especially with the speaking session, I loved to attend every single session. I was like, okay, now I should never miss. And after that, I had a really good courage and confidence in myself to give the exam. And I gave my exam and I cleared it. I was like very much nervous and I was not really confident enough whether I'll be able to get 7. But the last attempt I gave, like after doing B1, I got 555. And after 2 months, I got 9979. So it was that.
Awesome. Yeah, this is a very, I mean, first of all, like, I want to say two things to your husband as well. A big thank you with gratitude because he believed that, joining Frenchify, like, helping you, and like overall having this belief and trust that, with me, with Frenchify, you'll be able to do it. So, first thing that. And second, supporting you throughout this journey as well, because it is very difficult, especially because you both, I mean, you have kids and it becomes super difficult. Like, uh,
Yeah.
only parents know how difficult it becomes if you have kids, and I can't even imagine how you will be able to manage time in that regard. So very very thankful to him as well. And secondly, kudos to you for being a super mom, because while having kids, being able to learn French and managing everything, like, this is actually a very very tough task. Students, they are on study permit, they are on work permit, and they feel ki how will I be able to manage time, which is sure understandable. But also want to tell them that there are people those who are encountering these bigger challenges, and they are like actually still finding time to study French. So I believe for everybody, you do require this motivation. You need to have this discipline ki, okay, whatever happens, there are sacrifices which are needed to be made, and I have to make this in order to get it
Yeah.
done,
True,
right?
true. Yeah. And I thank my husband and the universe for putting Frenchify on the right time to me so that I was able to clear. Because you name any Instagram or YouTube, videos and the pages, I have followed it. I have tried. I have like done multiple things. Like I thought, okay, it's easy to learn. It's not easy to learn a language, but for the exam preparations, they say it's easy if you just go to the see few YouTube videos and understand the concepts, you'll be able to clear. No, a big no. I'm no, I'm an example for that because I have followed so many pages. I have done, like so many research in YouTube, like how to clear exams, and no, it didn't work. So we should have a dedicated way of approach for certain things in order to get the results on the correct time, on the correct way. So with Frenchify, it has helped me a lot to understand my level and how to improve it step by step. It's not just, okay, within 4 months, you'll clear. Yeah, there are people who learn a language very fast, but for me, especially, I'm not very keen in just clearing the exam. I want the language to stay with me forever. It's like an additional asset I possess, and I want to keep it. I don't want to lose the touch. Whatever I speak should be natural way and not like a, like a robotic delivery or something, especially in speaking. So that's what I wanted. And for that, Friendshipify has helped me a lot because be it the writing part, the corrections that I've got, like every time I submit for the writing sessions, and every time they used to be like, they never modify, like you guys never modify my template. You just give the correction wherever applicable and not just, no, 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 you follow this template only so that you will get marks. No, it's not like that. Of
Hmm.
course, we do have like samples, but those samples helps us to understand the flow and not like just copy paste this to get marks. Because obviously, you know better that the examiner will just read and then they'll get to know that this is from the template. Reject everything, whatever is our ideas and whatever we wanted to write or what we wanted to explain in the concept. That will be, of course, with a lot of grammar mistakes and if we don't practice it properly, it will be with a lot of grammar mistakes and we will never use it properly, the subjunctive or some other grammar related things. So in that way, I think Friendshipify has helped me to understand my own template and how to write. It's not like changing it completely. And secondly, same goes with speaking also. There are, like, I have seen so many YouTube videos like where there are like templates. No, you can just speak this, you'll get marks. It's not like that because I'm not sure. Like for the attempts I've given, I understood that the examinator will speak to you for a couple of minutes in the beginning just to make sure you're calm down, you're not very nervous.
Yeah.
So at that time, they make a note of your natural flow of French because obviously they're going to talk in French. Most of them, they don't talk in English. Of course, being in Montreal, I would say they have spoken to me only in French.
Hmm.
Like, ça va? Est-ce que tu es prêt? Oh, je suis prête aujourd'hui. Oh, elle est like, oui, oui, je suis un peu nerveuse, mais ça va. So I used to be like that. And I think that is a time when they get to know how naturally we speak. And after that, once when the session starts, when the exam starts, and we start speaking, like start delivering whatever we have marked up, they
Hmm.
get to know it's all marked up. And when the counter arguments that we had to throw them, there they understood like, no, no, no. Like she has literally marked up and then she's just telling. And when I ask some question, she's not able to answer. So that's how I think they give points. And for me, like with Friendship, I think they understood my template, how I speak, and they've never changed. They just tell me there are like few grammar mistakes that you have to correct it. You can just tweak the question a little bit like this so that it's understandable.
Hmm.
And whatever I have felt, whatever I think during the session, like I speak naturally.
Hmm.
And as you always say that you have to think in French than thinking in English, translating in French, and then just telling. That doesn't work because it goes like more of Anglicism in its speaking and it'll not be good. It'll be awkward. So that's what I used to, like love with Friendshipify and I was trained in that way. So I
Yeah.
really love the way of approach.
Yeah, that's true because for writing and speaking, reading and listening, sure, it depends
Mhm.
on more practice. The more you are comfortable in the language, the more you'll be able to attempt better and get that score. But when it comes to
Yeah.
writing and speaking, examiners have that eye that they are directly going to judge you according to how is your flow. And those
Yeah.
first 2 minutes are very crucial where the actual exam does not start, but this is where
Yeah.
examiners are still testing you because this is like a pre-test where they see how much comfortable you are. Can you even
Yeah.
can you even talk in French generally or no? Because even if you're able to do section
Yeah.
very well using all the templates and all the subjunctive and stuff, but in the beginning you were not even you were fumbling. Then it's like, oh, did you memorize scripts or
Yeah.
that also? And that is the reason why these days students a lot of students are giving the exam, but they still are not able to get that level where they get stuck at CLB 6. Like they're just on CLB 6, and I believe this is the only thing which is keeping them at CLB 6 or 5 is that they just
True.
need to build that natural ability to speak in French. And I've emphasized it right, like from the beginning, up to A2, yeah, there are different ways of practice of speaking, but once they come on to B1, like you really have to make sure that you're not memorizing things and
Yeah.
trying to be as natural as you can. And perfect. Yeah, this is a great, insight on how one should study. So let's talk about your timeline as well up to the exam. So you started B1 in December 2025.
Yeah.
You talk about how much time did it take for you to complete B1?
It was just 2 months for me because, like I said, I've already completed the French course at CJEP. It was just taking like 2 months for me, and I had to like really go through. And since I had a gap of 1 year, it was there were many things that I've forgotten, and your videos actually helped me. Like I used to sit write down like each and everything, like how like how the grammar works and how I have to frame a sentence and everything.
Hmm.
So I used to do that, and after 2 months, I was like, meanwhile, I was also doing mock practice. So in that, again, my score was not very good. I would say I was getting like 22, 18 sometimes, and then 24, it was like that. But still, I was like hopeful because I can like literally see my progress in how I was and how I am like after friendship because of the continuous practice that we had to do. And also I remember like I had to miss a couple of sessions, and like you messaged in the group, if your exams are approaching, please don't miss the session, please, like try to join. And then for everyone you say that, and we also do get reminders from the team that oh, it's been a long time you have not practiced French, are you practicing or not? And I think that's like a little push we need to like to prepare,
Yeah.
like that encouragement and support that we need. I don't think others would do it.
Hmm.
Like they just like they just teach, and it's your business, it's not my business. If you read and if you give an exam, it's for you, it's not for me. But with Friendshify, it's like no, 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 it's my responsibility also, because you're in the team now, you have to learn and you have to clear it. That
Yeah.
approach, I really loved it, to be honest. And that's like a personalized approach, and like making sure everyone is on the right track, no one is losing, no one is like demotivated, or basically checking on everyone. That I really loved with Friendship.
Thank you. Yeah, because this is very personal to me. I
Mhm.
needed that motivation when I was studying the language as well. So I always am like, okay,
Mhm.
if there has been breaks, I should message
Yeah,
to see what is going on. So that is very important. So
yeah,
B1 2 months, that's great. And
yeah.
honestly, completing B1 syllabus in 2 months is a very good time frame because this builds your momentum as well for what is coming next. So obviously, when we move from B1 to B1, B1 to B2, like it's not like okay, 2 months. Now, anyone watching this, they need to understand ki if you are able to complete B1 in 2 months, it's not like ki you rushed the process. You just, let's say, if X amount of hours were supposed to be given at B1 level, you still give that X amount of hours. It's just that you have to concentrate that into 2 months rather than 3 months or more, right? So this is also very important to understand for everybody watching this video. And then you moved on to B2. It was in February 2026. So
Yeah.
February, March, April, and then
April,
May.
May. Yeah.
So just like within February, March,
3 months.
April, May. So 3.5 months, you cleared your exam
Yeah.
after. So how was the preparation for the exam in terms of reading, listening, writing, and speaking? What were the important things you used to focus on? What felt to you that okay, this is my weak point right now. I need to focus more on this, or strategically, what were the steps you were taking?
So basically, even for B1, my practice time is from morning 8:30 or 9 o'clock until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So until then, in between, I just take an hour of break just to have my lunch, and, like here and there, like few breaks, like 5 minutes or 10 minutes break. But apart from that, I would say like 9 to 3, total 6 hours, like 5 hours I used to put every single day, right from B1. And that's the reason I was able to finish B1 within 2 months.
Hmm.
And for B2, I would say like that's when I got to know the exam specific practice. So before also I knew, but I was literally not able to understand from where I had to start. I
Yeah.
didn't had a proper schedule, like, okay, I should do this listening and reading one day, and then I had to do speaking one day. Like I really didn't had any plan or a schedule kind of thing. But after joining B2, I think it was after like couple of sessions, uh, you guys suggested me to have a study partner so that it will help me to practice. And then I messaged, I got a study partner also, like a speaking partner,
Hmm.
especially. So we used to practice every single day. just apart from weekends. So that every single day we used to practice, and we make sure that morning, we can do listening and reading one day, and speaking. Speaking was there every single day. So the other two modules we used to do every single day, like listening, reading, or reading and writing one day along with speaking.
Mhm.
You choose to be like that. So basically, 3 modules a day is what I did. And at the end, I was getting comfortable because, like, towards B2, I was doing mock for every single day. I used to do mocks, and I used to make sure that I understand, even if it's listening or reading. And if I don't know anything, if I get a wrong answer, I used to go back and write it, and so that I keep it in my memory. Okay, this word has this meaning also. It's not just one meaning; it has a couple of other meanings too. And that's how I remember. That was actually helping me to enhance the vocabulary also. Meanwhile, I was able to understand more vocabulary, and I was able to use it in my writing also. That helped me a lot. And for speaking session, like those 3 days, even on Saturdays, we had sessions in the morning. So that practice session was like, literally, I would say that was like a golden egg, because it helped me so much. I was lacking because I was not very confident in speaking also, because there's no one to speak at home. And even my neighbors, they don't speak French. So it was like only me and my speaking partner, we used to speak. But again, we are not sure whether we are making any grammar mistakes or whether we are doing it correctly. And those sessions were like a testing for us. Okay,
Mhm.
then we used to discuss, you remember we were using this sentence, it's not like this. We have to change it. And those sessions were really helpful, and it had, it encouraged us a lot. And like I said, you guys never changed the template or never changed the idea that we have. You just help us to upgrade in whatever the ideas and in the overall template we had.
Mhm.
So that was something that I really loved it, and that helped a lot, especially for speaking session. And I think when I got my result, my husband was like, "You got 9 in speaking, like seriously, that too in Montreal." Speaking, because the examinator was Quebecois, obviously, and the way she spoke, I was like looking at her like, okay, it's like very fast, and I was not able. I was still in shock when I got my result. Like, is it me who got 9? Like, okay, yeah. And so it was like that. It was really nice, and finally, when someone evaluates you for their language, it's like really something very nice, and like knowing that we get a good marks in the exams for whatever hard work we have put, and that is something like really satisfying, I would say. Something really nice, and it's all because of Frenchify program, and especially for the speaking session, I would say. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, one thing I want to mention is that you stick to the methodology very precisely, because again, the goal for speaking partners as well as the goal for sessions is very, very different. The speaking partners helps you to bring more volume of that practice key. Okay, otherwise
Yeah.
you could have or you would have not practiced speaking on regular basis, but with speaking partners you make sure that you are doing that. In
Yeah.
sessions, it's more like testing and refining your language for the upcoming week. So whatever
Yeah.
mistakes you are making, you refine, like you first of all observe those mistakes and you refine those mistakes and you work on those mistakes for the upcoming two whatever days, so that in the next session you are speaking like 5% better, and then in the next session 5% better. So this is how
Yeah.
slowly over the time those sessions
Yes.
have, whatever mistakes or whatever errors that student learn, that is something they are practicing again and again during the sessions with speaking partner or practicing by themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
this is something I think you followed very precisely, which I want that every student, those who are with Frenchify or anyone, like they should follow this technique, because this is how you're going to see results in speaking. Like you cannot,
Yeah.
if you have a speaking session with your institute, with your instructor, you cannot expect that to be a practice session. That has to be an analysis session, so that you can keep on working further when you're practicing yourself or
Yeah.
with a speaking partner. So yeah, that's something which is very useful to know for everybody. Perfect. So then you gave the exam, you received the result. Overall, give a brief about how was the exam experience.
So for the exam this time, I made sure I'm not gonna be nervous. I'm just gonna give whatever I know. I'm not gonna be tense. And also, I would say, meanwhile, like I started in Feb, and in March, like we decided to move. We decided to shift the house. So for like end of March until mid of April was a chaos, and I had to pack everything. I really didn't had time to practice well also. But somewhere I had in mind, like I have to give my attempt soon and I have to pass. So in this Feb, March, April also, I would say like almost like 20 days were gone in packing and shifting and all of that. And
Okay.
in finally, I booked my exam for May 8th. And then I was like, okay, this time I'll give. And then let's see whatever comes, it's okay. Like I'm ready. I'm ready. Like this time I'm having confidence, but you can't really know what the examinator feels and how your results come, obviously, because it's listening and reading, it's like a simulator, so it gives the result. But apart from that, writing and speaking is something like they analyze and they give the marks, right? So it's not really in your hand. So that's where I was like a little tensed, but I was like, okay, this time I shouldn't be nervous. And finally, even day before the exam also, like I was like calm and composed. I really didn't had any tension. I was all prepared for the exam. I packed my bag the day before itself, and I was like, okay. Even the day of the exam, I went to the exam center at 7:35. The exam center opens at 8 o'clock. I was
Oh.
standing outside. I'm like, okay, will someone come? So it was like that. And finally, yeah, when I gave my exam, I was like, I just gave my best, is what I felt after. Because when you are nervous, when you are hungry, when you don't sleep before the exam, you tend to score more minus marks, I would say,
Yeah,
because of the pressure that builds up.
true.
So calm and composed is the best way to deal with anything. And that's how I did. And finally, yeah, like I gave my exam on Friday, and Tuesday I got my results last Tuesday, and oh, finally I was able to clear it. So yeah, it was really overwhelming, and I was like, am I reading my result or is it someone's result they sent me? It was like that, but yeah, it
Okay,
was a
that's
really good experience, and yeah,
yeah. I think it's because the less burden you take of the exam attempt, the more you perform, the better you perform. Because the more burden you have or the more pressure you have, we tend to do more mistakes, obviously, because there is more anxiety. So I recommend everybody that, I understand, because it's an exam, we feel that way, but honestly, it's not the end of the world. So for anyone
yeah,
who gives the exam, but they feel very, very nervous during the exam, it's not at the end of the world. At last, if you do not clear, it's just going to give you the feedback on where you are weak and what you need to work on. So you always take that as a positive, not as a negative, because with every hope you don't fail, but with every failed attempt, there is always a learning that we
true,
do. So
yeah,
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 don't take this as like a big pressure. Like, you're not going to RBC for an interview where you really need to crack that job. It's like you can reattempt it. So yeah,
yeah. And
that's
even after getting my result, also, I was like, okay, I got my result. That's it. It
that's
was like that. I really was not able to, kind of like a big celebration or something big also, but I was happy inside, but I was like taking everything like, okay, it happened, good. And it's just that I'm waiting for the French draw to happen so that I'll get my PR. And only those thoughts were there, and not like, because like I was the same when I had my failure also, and I was the same when I got my result. I was the same. It's just that I was like, no, I shouldn't leave French. I had to keep practicing it, even though the exam got over. I should practice French, and I had to make sure that I know the language better.
correct. So, Mahalakshmi, now let's talk about the reading and listening as well, because I think these modules as well, we can touch on them a little bit more to make students understand how much practice and what type of practice we need to do when we're studying on a regular basis. So, at B1 and B2, what used to be your reading and listening approach, and how did you improve? Like, how did you build this ability? Okay, slowly and steadily, you were getting to that high score of mock test. First, you were scoring 23, 24, and then slowly 27, 28. But then
Yeah.
started scoring 30 out of 40, that's when we decided, okay, now is the good time to book the exam. So how did you go from this journey of like scoring 18 out of 40 up to 30 out of 40?
Yeah, and this happened in a really short time, I would say, because, like I said, I have followed a lot of YouTube videos and Instagram videos, which will help me. But I really didn't focus on one proper approach, I would say, because, multiple things, we tend to get confused, like which one to follow. But like here with Frenchify, I was able to understand these are the what do you say, like, these are the ways to prepare. Like you have told us how to prepare for listening, especially like listen these podcasts, and then like listen the Radio Canada, and then, all of those stuff. And that really helped me. I made sure like I listen one podcast every single day when I work out or when I cook or when I do some cleaning work. So
Hmm.
that really helped me to understand. I pause wherever they tell a new vocabulary and I write it down. Whatever I do, I just write it down. Even in my mobile, I used to just write it down and keep so that I remember, and then I do a homework with that.
Okay.
And for listening was like that. And for reading, it was the Think French book, and then also like the other materials that you actually told us to do. Like I read through that every single day. Of course, you told us to read at least 4,000 words a day. It was really difficult for me, but I made sure to learn and read at least 2,500 to 2,800. Like I used to do that. I read, I understand. Like it's not just reading. I make sure I understand whatever I read. And then again, I write down and see. And I also try to use few vocabulary in my writings and see if it fits with the idea that I have. So
Hmm.
that was not only helping in the reading aspect, but also for the writing.
Hmm.
So that approach really helped me to enhance my writing, because that's how I went from 5 to 9, like within 3 months, I would say. And like every single day, I used to give at least minimum 5 hours a day for myself to practice French and the modules. And I think that's more important. Without just putting time and effort and just focusing on, okay, I'll watch this video, I'll understand French. No, it's not going to happen. You have to put a lot of effort to understand and to speak a language, that to a new language, which is nowhere connected to you. It's like, yeah, like they say, whatever you speak, it's like Greek and Latin. Of course, it was like that for me with French, and eventually now I can proudly say that, I can speak fluently. Not very fluently like a journalist or like a media person, but at least for someone who came from a country where they don't speak French, and now fluencing it, I think that is something like that these steps really helped me a lot.
Yeah.
So reading was also, again, like I used to read, I used to do mocks, and like every single day, I make sure I do the mock and see and read the books and even the other materials like complete French grammar and everything. Like altogether, it gave us so much confidence, because once when you start understanding and start learning new vocabularies, and it's not just learning, you have to put it in the fact that how it helps you. So if I learn a new language, I make sure I like understand the grammar and how well I can use it in my speaking. And also the same goes with the reading and writing. So if I find some new vocabulary, I make sure I try to write one sentence on my own and see if I can able to keep that in my memory so that I can use it for writing as well as speaking if possible. So
Yeah.
that one, I know it's little difficult, but eventually with practice, it'll help you a lot.
Hmm, that's true. That's true. Yeah. And like over the time, your mind is naturally able to use that vocabulary because, I think the reason you got CLB 9, not 7, was because up to CLB 7, there is this ability that, okay, you are able to converse naturally in the language and you are able to use the daily life vocabulary quite easily and you are confident in it and you can speak
Yeah.
on it. CLB 9 is a level where it's not only about that regular day-to-day vocabulary, it's also about using some higher level expressions and higher level verbs, not like intentionally using them or pushing them, but
Mhm.
they flow like naturally. So I think because when we were doing our speaking sessions as well, in the recent speaking sessions, I mentioned ki, okay, these expressions or these verbs that you are using, like they're not like regular life verbs, they are very high level. So that's great. So keep on using that. And with that,
Yes.
we also have to make sure here it's not like okay, one or two expressions we used very very high level, but our other language was not up to the mark. So overall that language level has to stay up to the mark while using those even higher level vocab, and I think that's what makes you gives you CLB 9 in the exam.
Yeah, yeah, true. And I would say for writing with all the chaos in between of shifting and everything, like I said, I really couldn't focus much on writing. And at the last minute, I would say like I just had like 3 weeks, and then I started writing again, and like getting it corrected and then making sure that it's all good. So that's the reason I think I got 7, and I'm just 10 points to CLB 8. I
Hmm.
got 7. And writing, I did just 10 points less for 8. And because I was a little nervous, I really didn't have the flow of idea also, especially in the exam hall. because I had different things in my mind. And since I was comfortable with writing, but even if I had given more time to writing as well, I would have scored well, is what I felt after the results. So we can just say, like, you practice, you remember this, you can write. No, it's not like that. You have to practice every single day for every module, however possible, so that, it really helps, because we have seen people losing level 7 just in few points. It's especially in writing, it's like something you can never ever explain how it feels, because you feel like we FMOMU, but no, it's not. There are few mistakes that have to be corrected, and that happens only when you practice regularly, and only when you make mistakes, correct it, so that you will be able to reach that level. And again, learning a new language takes a lot of time to become very fluent. So I am someone who is like you can't learn a language in a very short time. Of course, you can learn a language in a short time. To become fluent in that language, it will definitely take a lot of time with constant practice. I believe in that. Because if you just practice for exam purpose, and then if you leave it, eventually you lose the touch with the language. And if something like randomly, when you had to talk to someone in French, you will stuck. You'll be like, what should I say? How will I express? That shouldn't be there. So whatever we are doing, we had to first love it, and then we have to do it. We have to put a lot of effort. Only then we can, succeed that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So yeah, this is a great advice. And like, what would you like to say to French learners, those who are stuck somewhere, those who feel like, okay, I'm not able to progress forward? Like, what will be your final piece of advice for every French learner, those who are in this journey right now?
I've been there in the situation where even though my husband and my family motivates me, yeah, you can do it. Try one more time. I know it's difficult to learn a new language, but somewhere I was like, no, I'm done. Please leave me. I was in that stage because I was like totally depressed. I was not sure how to focus, how to prepare for exam, especially I would say. I was not really understanding why am I lacking? Why am I not getting even though after putting a lot of effort, why am I not getting CLB 7? That's what my question when I gave my exam the first time. So after that, I understand. So whoever is not motivated or feel like you are done with it and just you want to leave French, just take a pause, think why you started. There should be some reason behind it, because we all are here to get the PR, to get the citizenship or whatever it is. We struggle every single day to get into it. So you should have started with that one motive. So don't lose it. Just keep that motive, and then, like, focus, put your effort as in, like, yeah, I do put effort, but I'm not getting. No, it's not like that. Every single dedicatedly, you have to put some time for French, because it's not something like you're learning, it's not something like a certification course or something. It's learning a language, so it's
True.
going to take a lot of time to understand, and then to become more fluent in that. So for that, give some time. Each and every step, whenever you understand something, pat yourself that, yes, I understood. So I can learn more. So that self-encouragement is something I would say, like, yes, if you're getting if you're getting 20 questions correct out of 40 today, good. You're already good. You're already getting 20. So you should be more, encourage, and you should be like, yes, I did it, and learn more. And then when you get 21, still see one more mark you got. Like, encourage yourself and motivate yourself. Don't expect others to push you. And when you give time, eventually things will start working on its own. That's what I would say. And like we usually say that when you plant a tree, if you sow the seed, you should give some time. And today you sow a seed, tomorrow you see why it's not, coming out. You dug it, and then you take out the seed. It's not going to work, right? You have to leave it. You have to leave it inside, and you have to water it. You have to give some time for it to grow. So
Yeah.
it's like that. So be patient enough,
True.
and everything will be like in place.
Yes, correct. Very well explained. Very well explained. I think this is a like persistence and having this discipline of still doing the same thing despite not seeing the progress is something that is a very important skill to learn while learning French, because it applies in every skill in life. Like for a long time, you will see that no progress is happening, but it's not that the progress did not happen. It's just that
Yeah,
you got so much indulged into the learning part itself that we started comparing ourselves on regular basis. But if you
yeah,
see back, ki, okay, 2 months ago, how I used to do in the language, and if you compare
yeah,
2 months Vyom with current Vyom, or 2 months person with current person, you will see there is a big difference. So I think, yeah, those, you have to see these small wins and psychologically give yourself more push with these small wins. So I think that's a great advice. Thank you so much,
yeah.
Mahalakshmi. This was great, connecting with you and getting to know about your experience, your tips, as well as your whole learning journey. This is very motivating because, as you mentioned again, you're a family person, you have kids, and then, husband is there to support you as well. So having such busy schedule, it becomes very difficult to.
Yeah, and there are times I felt guilty because I didn't have time to take care of my kids. I had to leave my baby in the daycare just because I had to do friends. I've been there. I felt depressed. I was like, no, why should I do this and all of that? And now I would say that I have really done something which helped my partner also to feel relaxed and relieved, because he was about to do, but because of his work stress, he couldn't continue. And that's when he told me, like, see, you wanted to do TEF, you already learned French, but it's
Mm,
just that you don't know the techniques and how to learn it. Do Frenchify. He'll help you out. Like Vyom will help you out to understand the way, and you will really get it
mm,
because of the. It's not just because of other reviews or something. He personally felt that the approach, because when he started with A2, I guess, he told, I really like the approach and I really like how they encourage their students to actively participate and do, and I think you can do it.
mm.
So that really helped me, and that focused approach of how to clear the exam, and that was like really motivating and encouraging. So I think that is needed
Yeah.
for everyone.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for trusting in Friendship, Mahalakshmi, and I wish you the best. And thank you so much for sharing your valuable advice with everybody. Au revoir.
Thank you.